In a podcast land where thoughts collide, Brian and Craig will be your guide. No topic too small, no tale too tall. Tune in, laugh out, you'll have a ball. From mysteries deep to light-hearted jokes in a poker rhythm where laughter invokes. Untitled is their name, the fun untamed. Each episode a ride, this shows their claim. Untitled, Brian and Craig, get ready for a twist and a leg shake. In a quirky world where anything goes, join the ride as the madness flows.
There is only a level 3 goose warning today because there is snow here in Buffalo.
Oh, it might be a 2.5 because there's also snow here in Denver.
Oh,
No,
that might lower it to a 2.
possibly, yeah. Somewhere between 2 and 2.5 is what we're looking at with the goose warning this week. So that's good to know.
Oh, that's good. It was level 5 last week. That was scary.
It was a level 5. Yeah, when it's a level 5 goose warning, that's dangerous. You got to take cover. So
Yeah, that means that somewhere, somehow, there could be a goose waiting to dive bomb you.
that's true. You got to be careful. The chances are never 0%, so you got to be careful.
The longer the show goes on, the more ridiculous things we have to say at the start of it.
Welcome to episode 16 of Untitled with
Is
Brian
it
and Craig.
really 16?
Episode 16. That means we've been doing this for over 4 months now because of our
Wow.
our brief hiatus.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah. So a third of a year, my man. Congratulations.
I know.
We'll break open the champagne.
Congratulations. We'll do that when we record an episode when you come visit in person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. That'll be pretty close to the year. Not quite the year. Depends on what time I actually get up there. We'll see. But
We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Untitled with Brian and Craig, episode 16, take 1. Oh, wait. We're supposed to do that before we start, right? Do you have
Yeah,
your
we're supposed
script?
to do that before we start. Yeah, we already did that.
We're supposed to. This is a scripted show. It's very heavily. Well, it is heavily edited, but that's just because we say and a lot. So,
It's true. No, this is 100% a scripted show. I'm reading it off of my phone right now. It's on an auto scroll.
Yeah. It's a teleprompter, which seems weird since we're not in front of an audience, but here we are.
Yeah, we like to spend, with all that podcast money rolling in, we like to spend it on ridiculous things for the podcast.
The teleprompter seemed like an excessive purchase at the time, but it's made my life so much easier to read the script, so that's good. So
Truly, it'll also help you finally make the jump to being a politician when you're 78 years old.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when you should start, really.
Truth. Yes. So
anyway, here we are.
man,
Knowing
a lot of stuff happened this week
Oh, good God.
on the national stage.
Oh, good God.
But I just want to talk about Nikola Jokic and his insane basketball.
The heave of destiny. I don't know what you want to call that.
Oh my God, that was insane.
At the end of the third quarter, my son and I were watching the game. And for those who don't know, because not everyone follows the Denver Nuggets as closely as I do, very few, in fact, do. But Nikola Jokic, aka the best basketball player in the world,
Ever.
Potentially ever, at the end of the third quarter on Thursday night, I want to say it was. My son had gone downstairs to go get a snack because there was like 2 seconds left in that quarter, and he thought it was safe to leave. But he was wrong because they inbound the ball to Nikola Jokic, who 73 feet from the basket, which is like almost the entire other end of the court, heaves up this basket, just chucks it with one arm, like, I don't know, like some kind of glorious Herculean effort. It soars 28 feet high in the air, and it swishes for 3 points to end the quarter.
I could not believe that.
Oh my gosh, I was watching it live, and the sounds that I made, and my son's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Just come up and watch. You're gonna see this 800 times this week." And yeah, it was awesome. That wasn't the only amazing thing that happened. He finished with like some ridiculous stat line. I think he had 35 points, 23 rebounds, and 17 assists. Those are not numbers. Yeah, if you don't know basketball at all, that is insane. That is like 5 games of production for an average player. Like, it was ridiculous. And the Nuggets barely won because they slept walk to the fourth quarter and almost fell apart. But they didn't, and they won, and it was glorious. Although we're not a sports show, that was pretty sportsy, but that was...
Yes.
I wasn't expecting to start there, but man, that felt good. the rest of this week was not as good.
Correct. Which is why I wanted to start on that. And I just wanted to mention, like, I love how Joker handled that. He was basically like when the court reporter were talking, I was like, it's like, how are you feeling when you lobbed that grenade? And he's like, I knew it was gonna go in.
I knew it was going to go in. Yeah, that was so funny. And then she asked him, all of these people that are here tonight, we're voting you into the All-Star game. What do you want to tell them? Like, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for making it so I can't get any rest. He's the best.
Yeah.
Uh,
My favorite thing is when they won the championship, HuffPo, and he was like, I just want to go home. HuffPo was like Serbian shift worker just wants to go home, but work keeps him. But work is keeping him in another country. It was so funny. It was so funny.
He's a treasure of the world. I was going to say an American treasure, but more of a Serbian treasure. But he's a treasure, and he plays for my team. And
yes,
it's pretty wonderful. I do love it. I'm glad that you're still a Nuggets fan. That makes me happy.
I could never ever not be a Nuggets fan. Sorry.
That's good. I understand not being a Broncos fan. That totally makes sense. But yeah. All right.
But one more sports thing.
Okay, we'll get it out of the way. Oh, I'm guessing it has to do with tomorrow.
Yes, I believe everyone is saying it's going to be. We were texting about this. It was going to be 18-15, and the Super Bowl matchup will be Bills Commanders. Is what I'm seeing.
That's what you're seeing. What are you saying? Are you saying anything, or you don't know enough to say?
I don't know enough to say, but I'm seeing this.
Okay.
So that if people listening to this podcast are like hardcore Bills fans, if the worst comes to pass, they won't be, coming for my head.
Well, as we know, I'm not a true Bills fan. As we discussed on the show 2 weeks ago, but I am wearing a Bills hat today, and I am firmly with the Bills Mafia on this particular event. I said Bills 31, Chiefs 20. I'm standing by that. Part of that may be hope, part of that may be prediction. It's probably more hope than prediction, but I just need the Chiefs' reign of terror to end, and the Bills are the perfect team to do that with. So yes, please,
all right.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
Now that we got all the sportsy stuff out, we can talk about the crazy conspiracy theory about how the NFL wants to keep the Chiefs in power because of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, because they want people to watch their games. There is that conspiracy.
Let's not do that.
It's pretty crazy.
I can't even with that.
It's pretty wild.
I don't like talking about the Chiefs, period. One of my least favorite teams. Just dislike very strongly. So
that's fair.
All right.
Okay. So
all the sports out. All the sports out.
Any sports.
Do you have anything to say about the Sabres this week?
They won a game and then they lost 2 games, so it's pretty Sabresy.
Pretty standard. Okay, very good.
Yeah, the Bandits, I think, are 5-0 actually, so that's pretty damn good. So
you got to get yourself to a game. Well, their games are probably too late for you in the middle of your night, so never mind. But
yeah, and some of them are even in Canada, which is crazy. But anyways,
teams. Anyway, yeah, okay. We started down the sports road and we're having a hard time getting off. So Brian, what did you do this week?
So I told you I had some ridiculous story to tell you.
You did, and I'm very excited for it.
And as we all know, my favorite director, David Lynch, died last week. Big sad. And so I can't remember what day it was, but I woke up and I had to get gas. So I'm leaving the neighborhood. So it's foggy, right? There's like ice fog everywhere. I'm setting the scene. There's ice fog. It's like New England style architecture, everything. Driving through the neighborhood, I come up to the main road, and there is a giant is that even correct? Native American casino right there in front of me. And next to it is a gas station where it's the cheapest gas because I guess it's they don't tax it or something. Anyways, there's ice fog everywhere. So it's already a little spooky, right?
Sure.
Okay. And it's super early in the morning. I drive in, I drive up to the stall, I pay for my gas, I pump my gas, I lock my car, I walk in because I'm like, you know what? Today is a day that I'm really dragging ass, so let me grab an energy drink. I walk in. So you walk in through the doors, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts built into the left-hand side. And in the back, when you walk in from the front, on the back is the cashier row with all the cigarettes, chewing tobacco, and all that other stuff. And then to the right is like all the other stuff. I only see one employee. It's a woman, and she's singing on pitch, note for note, with a Beyonce song playing very loudly on her phone, and dancing and singing and doing the whole routine in the little cashier row, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, that's pretty weird, whatever. And so, anyways, I walk in and I grab my stuff, and I mean, maybe it's 2 a.m. or whatever. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'll let it slide. Not gonna think twice about it. I go and I grab my drink and I walk up, and she's doing the whole routine, locks eyes with me, and continues it for another like
Oh,
2.5 minutes after I set
wow.
it on the counter. And I'm just like, and she's singing, dancing, and singing note for note. And I'm like, just like locked eyes with her. And I turn behind me, and some other people had come in, and they're all thinking, like, what the full hell is going on? And I'm thinking, what the full hell is going on? And I turn back, and she's like, does, like doing like the hand motions, and she does like one of the Beyonce hand motions. I'm sorry, I don't know Beyonce songs or routines that
Yeah.
well. And she, halfway through, she finishes mid word and then like slams her finger down and stops the music and says, "Can I help you?"
No way.
I'm dead. I was like, what? I just want to buy this. And she rings it up, and she's like, she's like 316, and I pay. And I'm like, that, please tell me I wasn't the only one that ever saw that. Like, please tell me I was not the only witness.
So she goes on for like 3 minutes as if you were the audience and then rings you up like nothing happened?
Like nothing happened while a line started forming behind me.
That's amazing.
It was straight out of a David Lynch
Yes.
movie.
Oh, 100%. That is wild. I love it. I love it. That's
Yeah. And people will say it's false, but no, I clearly remember it because I went in the next day for something, or 2 days ago, and she was there again.
uh-huh.
And I walked in, and except she wasn't dancing and singing or that. She's like, "Hey, sorry for the other day. I was on break." I'm like, "What? That's what you do on your break?" Crazy.
Oh, that's unreal. So wait, was the music playing like in earbuds or was it like playing throughout where you could hear it too?
I could hear it. So she was just
Okay.
playing it off her
Okay.
phone. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's just playing on the phone, but like off the speaker, so everybody could hear it. So
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So she remembered you though.
Yep. Well, because I wear my branded logo, my logo for my work. I wear my
Oh, that makes
jacket
sense.
everywhere. So
Yeah. Okay.
because it's like rated to like negative 30 degrees and it's cold in Buffalo. So
Yes, so it's a good idea to have that on. So okay, I can't top that. That's incredible. Now there is one failure that you failed upon is that you should really pull out a phone and take a video of this.
Yeah.
I really
I
sad. That
really
would have been,
should have.
yeah, just to see psychologically if that breaks her or if she just keeps going like, no, I'm on break, y'all. This is happening.
Dude, I don't know.
That's
But I need to get into the habit of like taking out my phone and recording weird things that happen to me.
you really
I'm just
should.
not
Yeah.
in the habit. But also, I'm old.
Who expects that? Who expects to? Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just sat there like just enjoying the show. I think. I don't think I would have rushed her. Like, hey, this is a thing I will remember for the rest of my life, and I'm just going to the gas station. I can afford the 2 minutes. That's awesome. Wow, cool story,
Yep.
bro. But I mean it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. If it was weird enough to stick in my head for the whole week, then wow.
Oh, dude, that's not going anywhere. That's not just a stay in your head for a week thing. Like every time you pass that gas station, you're gonna think about the time the lady was just Beyonceing it up.
Yeah. But I forgot to tell you one more piece to the puzzle that's kind of funny is the gas. So it's Native American casino, gas station on the land, and then right next to it, no joke, is a pot shop called Native Cannabis, and they have a billboard like out front of it that says cultivated by natives. And I'm like, huh.
Okay.
They went real hard on that branding. So I just wanted to point that out.
Well, hey man, if you got like a brand, you got a way of selling it. You got to stick to the brand. So there you go.
Right.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't have anybody singing me at a gas station this week. I'm a little sad about that. I'm gonna have to just hop into gas stations all across the Front Range and see if there's anybody singing. My guess is there won't be. That seems like a Buffalo only situation. So my week, I discovered a couple things. I discovered a new way to tell that I'm old.
Oh God.
Yeah. Part of it would have been I wouldn't have taken out my phone to video that either. But a thing happened this week that is a thing that never would have happened previously in my life, and that is we made breakfast for dinner. I think it was on Thursday night, even the same night as the miraculous
Oh,
nugget
good.
shot. Yeah, and I made bacon, and
Okay.
at the end of the meal, we had something called leftover bacon, and
Left over. Okay.
yeah, it's the concept I had never considered before. But like there was still bacon, but I didn't want to eat it. So I put it into a bag and saved it for later. But it was bacon. This is this is not a thing I would have ever done before. Like it wouldn't have mattered how much bacon was there. In my 20s, like there could have been 64 pieces of bacon and I would have eaten all of the damn bacon because it's bacon. But for whatever reason this week, I guess my health, I don't know. I wasn't hungry anymore and I stopped eating and there was still bacon left. So like that's not a thing that it's just have you ever experienced leftover bacon? Is this a commodity that you've experienced before?
I usually just undercook. I undercook the amount of bacon so that I
Ah,
don't have that
you don't
issue.
have extra bacon. Sure, sure. That's smart. I cooked the whole package of bacon because that's usually what I did. But yeah, I just didn't eat it all. So I'm either growing as a person or the medication that I'm on that makes my appetite lower is making me have to be mature because I just can't eat it anymore. But you would think I weigh like 450 pounds based on the description of how much bacon I eat. But it's not. I'm not that. I mean, I'm not a lightweight, but I'm not overly heavy. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're just an average American guy.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm fat for a Japanese dude, but
Wait, you're Japanese?
well, no. I mean, if I were Japanese, maybe I am
Oh,
Japanese. I don't remember my
I
birth.
mean,
What day?
your name is Craig. I don't think you're Japanese, but you could be, I guess. I mean,
Definitely not.
your name isn't like Craig Hashimoto or something. So,
No, it's not. No, Dodge is not Japanese in origin. I'm pretty sure. So I haven't
uh,
done the 23andMe thing. So maybe I am Japanese, but I doubt it. I just really strongly doubt it. Oh, that's weird. Okay, the other
you do realize you do
oh, go ahead.
realize that in the episode synopsis, I'm gonna say the one in which we talk about is Craig Japanese.
Oh, I'm already expecting to see it. So yes, why not? The other thing that happened to me this week is I got everything happened on Thursday. Thursday was the day for me, I guess. I got real grumpy on Thursday. I went up because I work from home, 98% of the time. Maybe not quite that
Right.
much, but like I only go to the office like 2 or 3 days a month at the most. And usually it's on a very set schedule, and I know that it's coming, and it's almost always on a Tuesday because that's just the day that we've decided that we go in.
Mm-hmm.
But I get up on Thursday, go up to my desk in my pajamas as I want to do because I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to perform for anyone. So I'm just working in pajamas because I'm a work at home guy. And then I pull up my calendar to see what meetings I have for the day, and there's a thing on there that says "in office required today," and no one had told me this. So I'm looking at it like, oh, jeez, really? So then I'm trying to call my supervisor to see, is this actually real? Why have we not talked about this at all? What's going on? She doesn't answer the phone. So then I'm looking on our Teams chat, and then there's all these people saying, "Hey, do we have to go in?" And like, yes, it's a required day. Yes, it's like, oh, great. So I have to go downstairs and shower and get ready to commute. It's not awful. I think my commute is like at the most 20 minutes if traffic's real bad. So it's not the end of the world. I'm fine. Yeah, real bad, real rough. It's a terrible commute. But it set me off. And then all of the political things that have been happening this week, with the whole Donald Trump is now president as of Monday, and I got into work, and I was in one of the most foul moods I've been in years. And
Mm-hmm.
I find this woman who is probably like my best friend at work, and I just start talking, and the more I talk, I'm just dropping f bombs. I'm so mad. I'm just like I don't get that. I'm usually a pretty laid back, uh, you know,
Yeah.
not an angry person. But I was so mad, and I was so glad it was her that I was talking to because like anybody else probably been like, we need to get you some counseling. And I realized it wasn't because I was there when I wasn't expecting to be. I mean, that was part of it, but it's not that big a deal. Like the reason they had us all come in, it wasn't because we had a big meeting. It wasn't because there was something they needed to share with us. It's because it was National Pie Day, apparently.
Oh
Our
yeah.
like
Okay.
operations supervisor in charge of the entire building of like 500 people or whatever decided that we're going to celebrate weird things this year. And so it was National Pie Day on Thursday, apparently. And that meant that she was ordering pizza pies and and like apple pies for everyone. So we get, for lunch that day, she brought in pizza and pie. So like it was a nice thing they were trying to do, but it would have been nicer to just let me work from home. But neither here nor there. I realized the reason I was that mad is just because a combination of like all of the things that I've been, every time I turn on the news and I hear one more thing about, oh, they're taking away security clearances and security teams from people out of spite. There is a presidential edict that we are now going to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Like just all of the really dumb, mean, and evil things that are just happening as a result of a petty, stupid person being in charge of the country had just gotten to me to the point where I just was, I couldn't take it anymore, and I was taking it out on whoever was near me. I guess I wasn't yelling at them. I was just yelling because I was angry, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is just because the world is unfair and sucks right now, and I'm mad about it. And so then after I realized that, I was able to kind of like calm myself and work and enjoy my pizza pie and apple pie, and everything was fine. But man, it got on top of me for a second there, just because I don't know, the world kind of sucks this week. So
Yeah. But you know what will cheer us up, Craig?
oh, there's probably only one thing, really. The news! All right. There's one story I wanted to do, and then there was another story that got better than the first story, and so I'm only going to make a brief mention. The first story, but the first story
Okay.
is super crazy. I'm just going to read the headline of the first story. Man who only ate cheese, beef, and sticks of butter for 8 months suffers a shocking side effect.
Is it an impacted bowel?
I don't think it's that shocking of a side effect, honestly. Well, no, that's not true. It is a weird side effect. Yeah, this guy, he adopted what he called the carnivore diet,
Oh God.
and all he was eating was sticks of butter. It says 6 to 9 pounds of cheese a day, which that can't be right. That can't be right. And hamburger patties.
That is a lot of cheese.
He's eating butter, cheese, and hamburger patties exclusively for 8 months, Brian.
Oh God.
It caused this thing that's called, it's very hard to pronounce because it's spelled very weird. I think it's xanthelasma. It's xanthelasma. Basically, it looks like butter is excreting from all of the cracks in his fingers and hands.
Oh no.
Oh, dude. It's like this orange goo that is coming out of his hands. I'll post a picture of it on the Instagram.
Dude, this is like that horror thing that I told you about by Junji Ito with the
Yes.
grease.
Yes, it's very much like the Grease Kids that you shared with me. Yes, it's very similar, but in real life.
Oh, horrifying.
Yeah, and he got a cholesterol test, and his cholesterol level was 1,000 milligrams per deciliter. Which, if that doesn't mean
is insane.
A healthy cholesterol is under 200. His was 1,000, and they say like it's unhealthy and high if it's over 240. His was 1,000. I guess I'm just doing this story. His hands were oozing goo, Brian, because of his diet.
Was it cholesterol? Like, it's just good cholesterol. His body's like, I gotta get it out somehow.
It's real gross. It looks like butter. It looks like butter is like orange butter is excreting from his hand.
It's disgusting thought. Oh my God.
It's so bad. So, yeah, apparently he had lost weight as a result of this diet, which I don't understand how that's possible. But doctors say, although he lost weight, this is not healthy. Gee, you think? So yeah. So don't eat cheese, beef, and sticks of butter exclusively for a diet. That's our health minute for Untitled.
That's our health minute. So my disgusting, horrible thought was, if he's just secreting butter, why doesn't he just eat his man-made butter and just keep the cycle going?
Man, he's eating his man butter. That's really gross.
Yeah, that's horrifying. That's absolutely horrifying.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm glad I shared that one. No, I'm not. That's great. I'm glad I shared that story, even though I was only going to briefly mention it. But I just, as I went, Yeah, there's one better than that too, Brian. So you have that to look forward to here in a
How is
second.
there a better one?
Oh, just wait, my friend. Just wait. The weird news never stops, and I am on the beat. All right. How exactly do I start this one? We'll just say we're Taiwan, Brian. We're starting in Taiwan. There is a plastic surgeon there named Chen Wei Nong. He's a father of three, and he and his wife had decided that they did not want to have any more children. Or at least she decided, and he decided to go along with it. So,
Okay.
so he decided that he would get a vasectomy. So this is not a weird story yet. This happens, thousands of times a day across the world. Like people,
Right.
do preventative measures to, for family planning, that kind of thing. Totally normal. Totally normal.
Hmm.
Where it gets a little weird is that this plastic surgeon decided to perform the vasectomy on himself.
Okay.
Yeah. So he writes out an 11 he like videotapes himself, and he writes out the 11-step process of what to do for a vasectomy. He's a plastic surgeon. He is not a urologist. Um
Right.
but he studies, like he's like, I can do this. I do surgeries or whatever. So he anesthetizes himself. He's recording himself, by the way, the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And while he flips into himself, he cuts the necessary tubes. He
Okay.
sews himself back up, and then he posts it on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff as like instructional. Now, his first instruction is don't do this. Now, doctor, follow your own advice, my friend. Like, there's do it yourself, like as an ethic, but like you can go too far. Like do it yourself. There are what should be considered limits, and he has definitely crossed these limits. So he apparently had a urologist with him while he was doing this, and the urologist was the one holding the camera, which is I think not where the urologist should be in this scenario.
Yeah.
But he says he did it as a gift to his wife. But there's nowhere in any of the stories, and I read several stories about this. Nowhere does anyone ask him why he didn't just do what everyone does and have someone else perform the surgery. Now, because he was doing it himself, it took him an hour, where it usually takes about 15 minutes to go through this. So
Right.
the only thing I can think is he maybe saved some money because
Yeah, I guess.
he had all of the necessary things at his office, I'm guessing, all of the anesthesia and stuff, and he didn't have to pay a copay this way. Or maybe he did.
Yeah.
Did he submit it to insurance so that he could get paid for the surgery that he did?
I'm pretty sure that's insurance fraud.
Is it though? I mean,
Is it?
technically,
Well,
would it be?
I guess not. Hmm.
he
That's
is
a gray
the
area.
he is the surgeon performing the surgery. It is a medical procedure. Could he get paid? It's a question I've never considered before, and I'm guessing insurance companies haven't either. And also, probably in Taiwan, the insurance situation is a little different than here in the United States. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but the dude
Hmm.
performed a vasectomy on himself, and I'm not okay with that. That's a lot, Brian.
Yeah, that's a lot. You should never do that. And I can never like woof. Just yeah.
Just don't do
No.
that.
I like butter hands. I like butter hand Mr. Butter
No,
Hands. That was
they're both good. They're both something. So what we've learned in health today, because this is a health podcast, Brian. If nothing else,
yes.
it's half sports podcast, half health podcast. And what we've learned is
Yes.
don't eat sticks of butter, cheese,
Oh,
and hamburger
and
patties.
hamburger patties.
Yeah, exclusively. And if you're gonna get a vasectomy, which is fine, it's a perfectly reasonable choice. Just have it done by someone other than you. Is what I would.
Yes. I
That's what we're leading into this week. Yeah.
yes. That
So
is exactly what I think as well.
okay, good. We're united in this. Well, I'm Craig, and that is the news.
The news.
Oh, I'm glad that weird news doesn't stop happening, because it researching for this segment every week is a real joy in my life, because I get to get introduced to all kinds of crazy stories. So it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah. No, it's pretty great. My favorite weird stories are cursed food. That's my personal favorite.
Cursed food. There's not that many. I mean, there are some that happen. Yeah, like the frog pizza and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, and like hot dog flavored seltzer water, dude, cursed.
What?
Definition of cursed. Yeah.
Hot dog
Oscar.
flavored seltzer water. No, that's not acceptable. I do not.
Yeah.
I will not
So,
allow it.
you will not allow it. Nope, not
No.
today. Not now.
Sorry.
Not ever.
Not today, Satan. Oh, all
Oh
right.
my god.
It's that time of the week where Brian attempts to break my brain through information downloads of things like,
Anything?
I don't know, hot dog seltzer and the like. Right?
Oh yeah. Here, there you go. That's your brain break. Hot dog seltzer water. It's a thing. It was released in limited quantities. People enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure that's why people. That's what's wrong with America today.
That's how we got Trump elected. It all started with hot dog seltzer.
Well, I think it started with a few Supreme Court rulings in the mid '60s, but that's just my personal opinion.
There you go. But the hot dog seltzer cannot be discounted.
Yes, I'm sure you can make some mental gymnastics to to jog all of that into. I mean, oh my god, just the amount of like conspiracy theories that. Anyways, it's just insane.
Let's stay
It's
away
insane.
from it if we can. There's enough sad news. This is a place that we turn to for happy news, like butter hands and self vasectomies. It's no
Yes.
place. No place for grouping.
So,
I've just made up a word.
so how much about the Mormon Church do you know?
Oh, more and more each day, thanks to you and your Instagram feeds to me. So we have some things to discuss before we discuss Mormons. Like, why is there such a focus from? Did you used to be a Mormon?
Oh God, no.
Okay, I didn't.
No.
You
No.
have so many things about like how like I'm constantly getting like information about Mormon as a cult, which I am here for the Latter-day Saints being called a cult because they are some crazy people. I know about Joseph Smith traipsing the country trying to find a place where he could peddle his crazy ideas. I know about the Angel Moroni.
Moroni.
Whatever. Moron, eh? That's what I say. I have seen the South Park episode where they say dum 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 dum. You know, have you seen?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah. With as much as
I've seen it.
I was gonna say, you have to have seen it. So, but yeah, why is the Mormon Church such a focus for you? I guess is my question before we get into more things, because you really hit the Mormons are crazy hard, like way harder than anyone I've ever known. And I don't know why, but it's always been like a thing. Like Brian's really got it out for the Mormons, and I support it. I think Mormons are wild, but I don't. It's kind of like a live and let live. Like if people gonna be crazy, people gonna be crazy. But
Right.
you know, you just take out your phone and you videotape them being crazy. But no, but you're like on the warpath against the Latter-day Saints, and I just want to know.
You sound like I have a jihad against them. I don't. I promise.
No, it's not that. It's just that you've got. Let's put it this way: you've got a spotlight on the Mormon Church. You've got a real eye out for the crazy things, and then you like to share it. And don't take this as a criticism. I'm here for it. I enjoy. I enjoy it, but it's just like it's a critical part of your Instagram personality, and I don't entirely understand why. So I look forward to hearing.
So okay, I don't hate any group of people.
That's fair. Okay, I don't feel like
ethnically, racially.
I don't feel like you hate them. No, religiously, maybe Nazis.
Yeah,
you can hate.
There are two people. There are two types of people I hate: Nazis and racists.
There you go.
Well, I'm not going to say racists. I'll racist because that's a specific form of bigotry. I'll just say bigots in general.
Okay, that's good.
Those are the two people I hate.
Okay. I support that. Unlike hot dog seltzer, I support that.
But the thing about I lived in Salt Lake City for a little over 2 years.
Okay, wait. You just explained it. I understand now. Because you lived in Salt Lake City for 2 years. That now tracks as to why this is a focus. So I
yes.
Get it. I get it.
And I'm going to say that the Mormon Church is not a religion but a business. It's no longer a religion because they own a ton of land. They own a bunch of like other things, and they require members of its church to like donate 10% in tithing, mandatory tithing.
Right.
And all that money is tax free. So they just have all this money coming in, and they do with it what they want. And I have a problem with that. But
yeah, fair.
It's a big issue. as far as Mormons as people, as far as like a how do you say it? Like a moral compass.
They're pretty
The
good.
things, some of the things that they teach are very good. Like a
Yes.
core tenet is like tolerance and all that stuff. With that being said, because there's always the X factor of humanity, it's turns out to be if you don't look like you're Scandinavian, you or Mormon, you get treated differently.
Right.
It's called othering, and it's not exclusive to the Mormon Church.
I mean, everyone does it. I do it to people wearing red hats that say "Make America Great Again." So we all have our
You,
crosses.
you are specifically, Craig, in that instance, you are othering, sir,
Yes,
and you need
I
to
am.
knock it
It's
off,
true.
sir. You
I
need to knock
do.
it off.
I
That
do, but it's so hard, real hard. Because sometimes the other group just does things that really need to be pointed out. I'm just saying. But yes, continue. I'm
Well,
sorry, I interrupt.
no, you're fine. I mean, obviously, I sent you all the crazy things of the Mormon Church. So when I was there, the big thing. So they have every year they have this big thing called it has some special name, but it's basically convention. They all get
Okay.
together. They all listen to what Daddy Mormon has to say and his interpretation by God or whatever it is that they have to say. But he interprets new things every year, and that's their year to like implement new changes to the guidebook. Like, you can't live with a woman if you're not married. You can't have premarital, the usual things. But people being people will try to find ways around it. So case in point, the years that I was there, a big thing was soaking. Do you know what soaking is?
It is sexual contact without the motion of the ocean.
Correct, sir. And
Yes.
there's a sound bite. The guy who is the prophet of the Mormon church looks like Skeletor, or not like Skeletor, looks like the Crypt Keeper, and there is no flattering light. Like, this man is almost 100 years old, and his skeleton is literally trying to pop out of his body. Like,
That is such a great description of a human being. It might be othering, but it's also very funny.
so, anyways, there was a soundbite of him where he's staring down there's a soundbite of him where he's staring down the barrel of a camera, and he's like, "Soaking fury of our youth, and we must consult this epidemic." And I'm like, dude, just take away your outdated 1860s laws, and you'll be fine. Like,
right.
come on, man. And so now what they're doing is Mormon kids they get a 3-day weekend. They drive on to Vegas with their best gal pal. They get married in Vegas, do the deed, get it annulled, come back. No one speaks of it ever again.
Oh, so they're having wild decadent weekends, but they're getting married beforehand so that it's okay by the church.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not messed up at all. That's just totally normal.
No, that's totally
activity.
normal behavior. Yeah, exactly.
It's a one night stand, but we were married at the time.
So is it a one night stand?
Well, I guess it's a weekend. It's like a weekend stay. I don't know. I don't know the laws on this. You introduced marriage to the whole thing. It threw me off.
They got some things they should probably work out. And I mean, again, I don't have any problem with Mormon people, with people who believe in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at all. I just think that the church is culty. I mean, that's the best way. There's secret backdoor meeting, there's secret meetings and handshakes, and you're encouraged to keep secrets. It's weird. It's an interesting culture. The culture that breeds around it is interesting because they're like, oh, we want you to keep secrets because of this reason and this reason, and this is your secret with God. And it's like, what? Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't love when a religious organization starts to, oh, we need to keep secrets from others. That seems questionable at best.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ingrained. And also going back to the whole marriage thing, it's like I've said this before. It's like, they strictly forbid premarital sex, right? And so it's like,
Right.
You go through your life for 20 years or whatever it is, walking near a Walmart sized candy store, right? It's just candy. You can see everything in there.
Right.
And you're like, oh, you're not allowed to go in there. You're not allowed to go in there. And then finally you're allowed to go in there. And we all heard, a kid in a candy shop, they're going to go wild. They're going to be feral. They're going to be crazy. But they also have zero sexual education.
Well, why would you want someone to know things? Yeah, that might lead to actual sex.
Exactly. So it's like so a lot of them. There are hundreds of thousands of stories out there. So do you remember? Was it almost 10 years ago now when that Ashley Madison leak happened? Ashley
Yeah.
Madison is that like
Yes.
affair?
Yes. The cheating website.
Yeah, solidly the majority of the people who registered it registered in Utah.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, not surprising, but yeah, I
Yeah,
believe that. That's funny.
yeah. So and the history is just like crazy. Joseph Smith, he was looked at, even in the day, he was like, dude, this is biblical fan fiction. What are you doing? You're crazy. You're wild. And
Yeah.
then but I mean a lot of it, historically was a problem because of the whole polygamy thing, the plural wives, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people had an issue with that. And the reason for it at the time was looking at it in context was, obviously most women died in childbirth, but also he needed to grow his community is kind of what is public. It's like what accepted. But I'm here to tell you, and you can look this up. This is historical record. Joseph Smith was a creep, and he was married to many 14-year-olds. He was married to close to 40 women, possibly more. And he even even got married to women who already had husbands.
That's interesting. I guess if you can have multiple wives, why not have multiple husbands, right?
So what he would do is in some cases, he would send the husbands on missions to foreign countries and then marry their wives while they're away.
Oh, yeah, that's a good move. You just eliminate the competition.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
here's the thing: is that he received a revelation saying that he received a commanding polygamy, specifically forbidding women to marry more than one man. So it could only be the man marrying more than one woman. So
Right. Right. Well, you wouldn't want to have equality in that. That would be awful.
exactly.
What I find the most amazing is that even his contemporaries considered him a creep. Like, and we're talking about like back in the time where you had to be an extremely creepy creep to be considered a creep. Like the rules were
Right.
totally different back then. Like you could be awful, you could own other people, and people were like, he's a good guy. And yet, even then, he was considered a creep. And like, has really apart from people in the Mormon Church, everyone kind of is like, this guy is off his rocker. And yet somehow the church became this thing that dominates a giant a state in the West, and many of the areas surrounding that state. Like,
Right.
it's a huge, like you said at this point, corporation. Like, how did
Yep.
that come from a guy who was basically just a creep? Is it just like because he took a lot of shots and was able to propagate within his own seed, basically just grow? Like, how did he convince people? How did he get that many people to be like, no, I'm on board with this guy? Like, I don't. It's a wild thing.
He's got the Riz. He got that old time Riz.
He must be like super rizzed up. Like, he is the Rizzler for sure.
He had to have been the ancient Rizzler. But he also had some like people who it was also probably luck because a lot of the people that he had had bigger visions and were able to interpret it better and like were savvy financially and stuff. And I think that's how that happened.
Okay, so he surrounded himself with people that were better than him.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Trump, take some notes. Actually, I don't know. No, because Trump, never mind. Take no notes. You've got this all by yourself, big guy. Sorry.
Got this all by yourself. But I mean, historically, the religion is problematic. They did a lot of bad things. They tried to Joseph Smith ordered a hit on a governor. He also was like, you need to kill Missourians because they're bad, and it's wild. Like I don't want to say the fun never stops, but it's the more you go deep into just like Joseph Smith as a person, it's like, oh, this is troublesome.
Yeah, not great. So
yeah, the guy's pretty troublesome. But anyways, that aside, once again, we have so many things to talk about.
Oh, to pitch with, yeah. There's a lot
to pitch with, yes.
Yeah, we got material, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it's true.
It is true. And every time we do this, we have so much material.
All right,
every time.
Who goes first this week, Brian?
I don't know, but I got one. I got one ready.
All right, you go, my friend.
Okay, so the name of the movie is called Church of the Blob.
Church of the Blob. Okay.
Church of the Blob. Okay. And so basically what's going to happen is as a man, he's gonna, he comes home one day and there's a bunch of like ice fog and stuff. And he sets down his dinner of a stick of butter, a block of cheese, and and a pound of hamburger patties.
I love it.
He eats it all and he goes to bed. And then he has a vision. The vision, I haven't really thought about what the vision is, but he's like, I must tell the people. I must tell the people
Okay.
about this.
About this nondescript vision.
Yes, and he's telling the people about this vision, and like, dude, you're insane. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Why are you like this? And he's like, no. I can do this. Like, watch. This is what. And so he's like, I will perform a vasectomy upon myself, and he does it. It's a sign, and he does it, in front of like all these people, right? And they're like, oh, this is disgusting, but they can't look away because
Right.
what's this weirdo doing? And then right at the time when he's about to start, like he gets maybe a quarter of the incision and blood doesn't come out, but it's orange goo. And he's like, oh no, what's happening? And then he basically, all this goo just keeps coming out of him and coming out of him, coming out of him. And it basically, and the goo is like, and he's like, oh no, what's happening? And then so the goo like swallows him whole, but he's still alive within the goo. So he's like an amorphous sentient blob. And so they're like, what is this? What is going on? And they're like, oh, this is a sign. And so people start following him, and he's like, guys, my body keeps producing this stuff and it's very painful. Please stop. And nobody hears him. So he's basically trapped within this like own religion that he created himself into. And so it's a cautionary tale, obviously. But
it's a Black Mirror episode, is what it is.
it really is a Black Mirror episode, yeah. And so he's basically trapped within his confines. And then they ask him things every year. And have you ever seen the Herculoids?
No.
So there are these two. It's about this family, and it's a little Hanna-Barbera cartoon. And it's about this family who lives in like this sci-fi land, and they have like these creatures and stuff. And one of them was like Gleep and Glorp or something like that. And it's basically somebody going, like, and that's the voice acting for that. And that's basically what he sounds like. And people are like, and they interpret it. And internally he's like, no, that's not at all what I said. I just want you to cut into this orange goo and get me out of here.
Or he's like, kill me. Kill
Yeah,
me.
So yeah, that's the Church of the Blob.
I like it. That's it's disturbing. It's disturbing, but it's also it has cinematic potential, which is really all we're looking for at this point. So, all right, I'm gonna go with a historical fiction biopic.
Okay.
So we're gonna take some severe liberties. It's gonna be set in modern day, but it's gonna be the story of Joseph Smith.
Okay.
And we're gonna start with Joseph. He's living in Buffalo, New York, and he needs
That's actually not too far off. Actually, he did grow up in the area.
Well, wait, we're gonna get way far off in just a moment here, but that's good that he grew up near Buffalo, so he would have been a Bills fan theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah.
All right, Joseph Smith is wearing a Bills hat as he walks into the gas station. No, I don't want Joseph Smith to be Joseph Smith. He likes to stir up the local populace, so he's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hat. Let's go with that. And he walks into a gas station. He's a little bit of a weirdo at this point, but he hasn't gone fully off the edge yet. But he walks into a gas station, and there's a woman singing, and he's gonna just pay for his gas and his soda that he's gonna purchase and what all the miscellaneous things he's buying. But he has to wait. He has to wait for several minutes while this woman finishes her Beyonce song. And at the end of the song, he realizes that this is a vision from the Lord, and he needs, again, it's a vision that's a little bit vague, we'll say, but he takes it as something that he needs to do. It's vague because we haven't thought about what he actually wanted to do. It's not because he didn't get a good vision. But he gets this vision and he knows he needs to do something. But what what he realizes is he has to do things himself. It's kind of like the Home Depot ethic of doers getting more done, but like the American version where like you don't get help. He just has to do everything himself. So he has to start a religion, but he has to do it himself.
Okay.
And Yeah, he doesn't need a vasectomy because that would really hurt his chances. But he kind of goes with the whole doctor vasectomy, do it yourself ethic, even though he doesn't do the vasectomy. Or
Mhm.
maybe he tries. Maybe he tries to do the vasectomy, but because he's Joseph Smith, it fails. And then he realizes later that that would have been a terrible mistake, and that the Lord saved him from performing the vasectomy on himself, and then ending what could have been his work. So he starts trying to create this religion basically just by impregnating as many women as he can. It's historical fiction.
A solid classically relevant choice.
A classic gambit by the Rizzler of the 1800s, living
Correct.
in today's society. Yeah. But then he needs to do everything himself. So he has to find a place for them to live. So Utah's been settled now. Although in this alternative version, because he's it was settled a long time ago, it's just settled by normal people. It's not strictly the Mormon Church. So maybe we've got like an alternate history thing going on here. So he has to convert Utah to Mormonism. So it's a little meta. It's a little meta in that way. But apparently, but apparently the people of Utah really take to it, even though they have no history of growing up Mormon. So who would have saw that coming? But he ends up in Utah, and in modern day, and he tells them all that they need to listen to him because he does everything himself. So like if he needs a doctor's appointment, he needs an open surgery on his heart because he's got a cholesterol problem because he's been eating nothing but cheese and butter sticks, because this is part of the vision that was imparted to him, is that his diet needs to consist strictly of cheese and sticks of butter and hamburger patties. And so, yeah, he develops a bit of a cholesterol problem and he's going to have a heart attack. So he needs to perform open heart surgery, but he can't go to a doctor for that. So he just performs open heart surgery on himself.
Mm.
Yeah. And that's how he dies. And that's the end. And then the Mormon Church fades away and then everyone lives happily ever after. So it's kind of a failure.
Just fades to obscurity?
Yeah, he just fades to obscurity. So like there's a big build up, but then he tries to do open heart surgery on himself and he fails, and the world is left without Mormons. So I guess it's a happy story after all. I don't know.
that took a weird turn at the end, but I see where you were going.
I don't know what's happening. Not my best work, but what are you gonna do? No. I was trying to bring too many things together, and it lost all momentum.
It lost cohesion after a while. That happens.
It does. But yeah, there you go. So, well, they can't all be winners, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, what you pitched is basically every movie that's come out in the last 5 years, anyways, where it all falls apart in the third act. So
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So I'm just living up to a tradition of the last several years in cinema. So that's good. I have a career. There
you go. You could be an executive at say Warner Brothers or something.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very good. Well, it started out bad, but then it got worse. So that's good. That's the arc. I need to put that on a shirt. It started out bad, but then it got worse. That would be good merch. That would be amazing merch. It started out bad.
That would be really good merch.
Oh, well, what have we learned today, Brian? We'll do the Jerry Springer thing at the end of the show. What we learned today
is not to eat sticks of butter, blocks of cheese, and hamburger patties for a diet. Don't do your own vasectomies. Oh, right. Always look at the back of the Q-tip box.
Oh, yeah. If you've got a Q-tip box, you got to read that thing, buddy.
Untitled with Brian and Craig is produced and edited by me, Brian Dunnigan. It is also hosted by me, Brian Dunnigan, as well as Craig Dodge. Opening and ending themes are created by AI, so nobody has license to those.